Thank you. Now we'll have Aris Cabo from TechnologyOne.
Hi, everyone. Now, before I begin my presentation, can anyone give me an example of a global tech company? Like, if you hear the words tech giant, what company comes to your mind first? Like, for me, it would be Amazon. What about the others?
Microsoft?
Yep, Microsoft. Google, yep. And feel free to shout it out from anywhere you are. Apple. Samsung, yeah, these are very good examples.
Google.
Yep, Google, yep, thank you. So these are very good examples of a global tech company. Now, what do these companies have in common? Like, where are their headquarters located? Does anyone know? America? Yep. Well, yep, I heard Silicon Valley. Yep, a lot of these global companies are in Silicon Valley in Northern California of the US. Now, what if I told you that here in Brisbane, we are home to one of Australia's largest R&D software company. TechnologyOne is an R&D company, and our headquarters is located not in Silicon Valley, but in Fortitude Valley of Brisbane. Yep, does anyone know? Has anyone here heard of TechOne before today? Yep. Yep, not so bad. Okay, well, my name is Aries, and I'm thrilled to be standing here in front of so many students today, and I'll share my education and career experience and what I do in my role. So I'm a business analyst at TechnologyOne, and for those of you who haven't heard about us, I'm here exactly to share what we are about. Now, does anyone know what R&D stands for? Anyone? Yep, someone there says research and development. Thank you for that. So R&D stands for research and development. What that means is we invest in our software in order to innovate and create products and services. Now, I'd like you to provide a brief overview of our company's humble beginnings. So TechnologyOne, or TechOne for short as we call it, is one of the origin tech startups in Australia. In 1987, we began in a demountable building in an old tannery processing facility in Brisbane. Yep, that building over there. Our founder, Adrian DeMarco, and his friend Lee Grice started the company, and they developed our very first product called Finance One. It's a piece of software that helps businesses manage their finances, and it was such a success that they started hiring more people and began developing new products for other industries like higher education and local governments. Since its early days, TechOne has doubled in size every 4 to 5 years. Now, which is 35 years later, we now have 14 international offices around Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Bali, and the UK. We have 15 products with over 1,200 employees and around 400 developers. We have grown to become Australia's largest R&D center. And here are some photos of our Brisbane headquarters, where I currently work at. And as you can see, it's quite a large building, and we operate similarly to a typical tech startup. So in our office, we have a pool table, video games, virtual reality, bean bags, and an all-day breakfast. So we have toasts and cereals available all day in our kitchen. It's very fun and amazing place to work at with a lot of really passionate, really talented, and great people. And you're probably wondering, how the heck did I get in here, right? Well, it all began with my passion in technology from when I was young. Baby photo. So I wasn't born here in Australia. I was born in and raised in the Philippines. And even back when I was in primary school there, I've always had interest in computers and learning anything about technology. I just enjoy sitting in front of a computer, just typing, clicking. Playing computer games is my passion. I do like playing games. And just exploring around. And I even told myself that one day I would like to work in an office. sitting in front of a computer. I don't really know exactly, I'm not exactly sure what I would be doing in front of a computer, but I know it would be something to do with technology and computing. My family eventually moved here in Australia and completed my high school years here. So I did year 8 to year 12, but my high school years weren't completely easy. Being in Australia is a completely new atmosphere for me. I struggled mainly due to cultural differences and a language barrier. What hasn't changed, though, is my growing interest in a rapidly evolving technology. So in my senior years, I studied English, chemistry, Chinese, Maths B, Maths C, and Information Processing and Technology, or IPT. And when I was about to graduate, I was still undecided on what to do after high school. Now, does anyone here feel the same way, concerned about not knowing what they would do after high school? Well, that feeling is very much normal, and it's okay to be undecided. Me too, I felt that way. There are plenty of career options out there. You just have to keep your options open to anything that may come your way. So I did enjoy my high school classes, pretty much all of it, but especially my favorites were maths and IPT. And I loved them so much that they led me to study software engineering at university. Now, I didn't do any research or do any networking back then. I just picked software engineering when I was in high school because it seemed to be the closest field of study to my interest, right? Like maths and IPT, software engineering should be okay. Well, I did struggle during my first year of uni with software engineering. I struggled a lot because I wasn't focused on my studies, and I didn't particularly like programming, I know, which is a huge aspect in software engineering. You have to learn different programming languages, and you have to code, and I didn't particularly like that bit. And I do like computer studies, but not in a sense of deciphering lines and lines of code. So I did doubt myself on continuing software engineering. I even thought of dropping out or switching degrees, but I didn't know my options were at the time. And so I just decided to change my major from software to mining engineering and just complete my degree. It's a huge change from software to mining, but during the time, mining industry was booming, and I figured finding jobs in this industry wouldn't be too difficult. Well, I was also very wrong on that. By the time I graduate, the mining boom was pretty bad, and it's extremely difficult to find a full-time role in that industry. However, I did complete a 6-month internship with a mining company, and here are some photos of me, and that's in both open-cut coal mine, as well as, this is a photo of me, the one on the left. It was taken before I went down 400 meters below the surface on an underground coal mining site somewhere in central Queensland. It was such an amazing, memorable, and definitely enjoyable feeling to being at a mine site surrounded by heavy trucks and machineries. Although I enjoyed my time there, it wasn't something that I see myself doing on a regular basis. And when I couldn't find a full-time role, I returned back to uni to study IT. And when I returned to uni, I was a completely different person. I'm more passionate. I discovered that information technology is more than just programming. It's a broad degree with a lot of areas in which you can specialize in. And I majored in information systems. And this is a branch of IT that is less technical, not programming based, but more business oriented, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So I was also become more active in the university. I joined social clubs. I started attending networking events, and that's how I found out about TechnologyOne, through a friend at uni and also through careers fairs where they have presenters from different tech companies just like this, just like what I'm doing right now. And during my final year, I applied for an internship position as a intern business analyst. and was fortunate to be accepted. And that was the beginning of my TechOne career. So the internship program at TechnologyOne gave me first-hand knowledge of what it's like to work in the tech industry. I and a few interns with me worked on a safe-to-fail project. This is essentially a project concept that would benefit the company whilst learning the software development lifecycle, or what we call the Sdlc framework that we use at TechOne. So we have mentors that guide us with our project. We only have to come in once or twice a week because we were all uni students. But most importantly, it was a paid internship. So imagine being paid to learn and have fun on the job and have an all-day breakfast. It's a package deal for me. So when I finished my IT degree, I was offered a place to the graduate program. And the graduate program is very similar to the internship, in which I worked with fellow graduates, working on this safe-to-fail project. We were in charge of our own researching, designing, developing, and testing our small software. It was such an amazing experience being a graduate role. And after that, I pretty much went through to my team, which is the student management team. Okay. Yeah, so I'm quite proud of the progress that I've made in my career at TechOne, starting from internship to a graduate role, and now as a full-fledged business analyst. So you probably ask, what is a business analyst? What do we do? Like, what do I do in my role? Well, here it is. Well, business analyst, or BA for short, is very wide, and it may vary from industry to industry. As a BA in products, or the R&D department at TechOne, my role is to engage with customers in order to gather their business problems, understand their needs, and then translate them into a feasible solution. I mostly collaborate with software developers, product owners, system architects, testers, to assist our customers when in their software issues, to improve current functionality in our software, and to develop brand new features that would help our customers' life easier. So how do I do that? Well, if I look at the Sdlc framework, there are various activities that I could be doing in each of these key phases. I could be talking to a customer, or speaking with one of our internal stakeholders, and to gather business requirements and their needs and our customer needs. I could also be designing UX and UI by wireframing or using prototyping tools to design new functionalities that we can put in our software. I could write development tasks for my developers, or what we call the user stories, in which the developers will then code and develop, and after that I could test it. I could test the end product after it. And at the end, I would be writing up documentation, release notes for my customers and our internal stakeholders. So I could be doing a lot of things there. But most importantly, I didn't have to code. You know how I don't like programming? Well, I didn't have to code. I have my developers do that for me. I design and I just test. So that's pretty good role. Transforming business, making life simple. This is our mantra, and this is ultimately what our software does. These are some photos of how our software looks. It's clean, modern, web-based, and it's intended to work on all devices, anywhere, anytime. We streamline and simplify our customers' processes, allowing them to focus on their core business and provide services to their customers. TechOne has 15 products, including financial, supply chain, property and rating, student management, and many more. Each product team there that you see is comprised of many roles, such as developers, BAs, product owners, system architects, testers, and so on. we work through a software development life cycle to deliver a major software release every 6 months. Our customers range from hospitals to local governments like councils, universities, to small and large businesses. Chances are you or your parents have probably already used our software. All of our products are integrated with each other, which forms an enterprise solution that we sell to our customers. So for example, we have One Education, which is an enterprise solution that are used by universities and TAFEs. And this solution can be comprised of a student management product for handling student administration, recruitment, graduation processing, course planning, and so on. It can also have a financials product to handle expense management or any other financial aspects of a university. It can also have human resource and payroll for staff training and management. Well, I happen to be in the student management product, and our software users are mostly students, academics, student admin officers, and applicants like maybe yourself if you decide to apply to a university or TAFE in the future. So I'll give you a very short scenario of how our student management product is used. So suppose you want to continue your study to university. What would be the process? What is the process like before being admitted in a course? Well, first you would need to submit an application, either directly at the university or through admission centers such as QTAC. And your application will go on several stages during which you may be asked to provide documentation or requirements. The university would need to collect your information, assess your application through interviews or through, through high school results and diploma that you've completed. They would have to manage your application on top of other applicants' application. They would have to create offers for successful applicants, release offers, and only then you can accept or you can respond to that offer and become admitted to the course. So from your perspective as an applicant, it's very straightforward. You submit an application, and then you receive an offer if you're successful. But for the perspective in the university side, your application have progressed through various business processes. And each of these business processes is managed and completed via software, our student management software. And that's just one of many functionalities that we have in student management product. Now, another thing that I want to share about is our pledge 1%. Now, can I just have a show of hands if any of you had done any volunteering work or participated in a charity before? Yeah, Sam? Yeah, that's a really good experience. Well, one thing that I'm most proud of at TechOne is our commitment to the Pledge 1%. TechnologyOne Foundation is part of the Pledge 1% global movement of tech companies to charitable causes. Our 1% pledge means that 1% of our annual profit is donated to our charity partners. 1% of our product goes to charity, making it easier for not-for-profit organizations to have access to our software solutions. And we devote 1% of our time to charity. This means that every year, each one of us is given 2.5 days to volunteer on a charity of our choice. So some of the volunteering work that I've done with the TechOne Foundation are with Food Bank, where I packed food hampers that are given to families in need, and with Solar Buddy, where I assembled solar lights, such as the photo that you see now on my slide, and these are given to children living in energy poverty countries. So it's such an uplifting and rewarding feeling to help and to know that I work for a company that has dedication to assisting families and individuals in need. And I believe that this is something that you should also consider when you look for a company to work for in the future. So definitely look out for companies out there that have a social conscience and have a dedication to help and families in need and how they can help you and your community. So what can you do now before you graduate? How can you prepare for your career? Well, definitely find interests, your interest. Do your research and explore career options out there. LinkedIn is a very good platform to do that. Now, I wish you all the best and good luck with your studies and your career, and I will now open to any questions that you may have. Thank you. Hey, yeah.
What is the TechnologyOne on the main thing where, yeah, you make those platforms, but which platform is your biggest that you have?
Do you mean, so it's a web-based software. Is that what you mean? Like
no,
the
like
platform?
which one is more, like your main one, which most have used?
Oh, okay. So we focus on, we don't have a particular focus. So our customers are mainly local governments, federal governments, and higher education. So our software are being used by universities, by TAFEs, by hospitals, by councils. It's not like it's not a software for public use. We're using SaaS or software as a service. Other question? One down here. Oh, hi.
I know you did an internship, but what specific things did you actually work on?
What I specifically worked on?
Yeah, during your internship.
Oh, during my internship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes, I didn't mention that because, so in my internship and my graduate program, you know how I mentioned I worked on a Safe to Fail project where actually I wasn't actually working on our own software for commercial use. So my graduate and intern program, the project that I worked on it's a platform similar to an LMS or a learning management system where users can create and manage learning materials for students. Now, the purpose of my intern and grad project is not for TechnologyOne to sell to our customers. It is for us interns and graduates to learn the process or the software development life cycle that we use. So we do research by talking to internal stakeholders or anyone who knows about that specific area. We do design. Our developers would code that specific platform that we just created, and we would test it, and we would present it at the end to pretty much the company as a graduate program. So it wasn't for TechnologyOne to sell, but for us to learn. Yeah.
Do you have a large influence in the design process?
Yes, so we do have that kind of process. So when I mentioned the Sdlc, we do have a framework that we follow. For instance, what I do, before we get into the actual development, we want to make sure that we fully research the business requirements that is needed. So for example, we do wireframing, we do user story mapping, where we sit in a room and we just think of who are our users. For me, it's student management, right? So our users could be students or student admin, and gather our personas. We build a profile for them, and we think about what are their pain points, what problems do they have, and how can we solve their problems? And from that persona, we will develop requirements. So what do students or what do student admin officers at university need in the software? And we will get to start listing them down. And from then on, we would start designing looking at our current software and see what can we improve on this. And after that, of course, we will engage with our customers and both internal and external stakeholders to do demo and see if it fits with their requirements. Thank you so much for all your questions. Probably my time is up. We have a booth outside, so feel free to come and check us out. Thank you.
Thanks, Aris, for that amazing presentation. Remember to ask speakers questions during the Q&A sessions to collect raffle tickets for the prize draw at the end of the day.